Alright, welcome again to Huckins on Film. I'm your host, Kyle Huckins. And earlier today, got to see Sinister, which I've been looking forward to ever since I caught the trailer. I think it was before Looper. Anyway, speaking of trailers, we're going to discuss the trailers that I saw before Sinister first. There's one called Movie 43, which looked like it was just about people behaving horribly. It's one of those, potential to be funny, potential to be a Seltzerberg comedy without all the trailers from every other movie on the planet stitched together. Really could go either way. Not that I'm going to go see it because, like I said, it looks okay at best. And when I was like, oh, I paid theater price to see that, I'm not going to enjoy it. Silent Hill 2, I think we've discussed that one enough. And I don't care. Paranormal Activity 4, I'm going to that. I've seen the first three, I'm pretty much just committed to this series at this point. Although I have liked them all so far. Had one called Mama. This I'm looking forward to. Because it's Guillermo del Toro doing what he does best. Making a really fucking weird looking movie that I'm not sure what the hell it's even about. It's like this couple finds, I think it's their nieces living feral in the woods. Because the husband's brother was out there with them and he died. And they come back to civilization and bring something with them. It looks like it's got some potential. And it's Del Toro. I mean, honestly, even the crappiest Del Toro flick, still pretty decent. Had The Last Stand again. What can I say? I'm an Arnie guy. I can't wait to just see him back and fucking kicking ass. I'm looking really forward to that. Movie called Broken City. It has Russell Crowe as the mayor of New York. Or I should say it has Russell Crowe as Robert De Niro as the mayor of New York. Because Russell Crowe is totally trying to be De Niro in this. I didn't totally catch it. And then I watched Brad Jones's vlog about this, and he mentioned it. And afterwards, like, yeah, he's right. It's him. Mark Wahlberg is an ex-cop who is being paid to spy on Crowe's wife by Crowe to see who he's cheating with. She's played by Catherine Zeta-Jones. It looks like it could be pretty interesting, actually. I don't know about great, but it looks like it could be good. And finally, I saw that trailer. Texas Chainsaw 3D. That's right. A movie that's going to be so out of control, they couldn't even put the word massacre on the fucking title. I mean, it's funny, you get a little text crawl about 1974. This movie looks like it was made last year. I mean, this is one of those, I might go see it. And you might get a vlog that's longer than the frickin' movie. Because it's just going to be me being pissed off at it. Because this looks terrible. I mean, it looks like they're trying to put a new spin on it where it's just Leatherface by himself. But I mean, in the trailer, they show his fucking face. Someone needs to be hit over that. Like, I mean, honestly, the 2003 remake, it's okay. This is probably going to make it look like Tobe Hooper's original. This looks awful. I mean, I try to be as open-minded about remakes as I can be, but this just... I feel like I owe the word terrible an apology by calling it that. This looks really incredibly bad. Like I said, I might go see it just to get pissed at it. Because I can't imagine I'm going to have any reaction other than anger. But, enough anger. Now, we get Sinister. This is really good. Holy crap! I saw the trailer before Looper, and I thought, this looks good. Producers of Paranormal Activity and Insidious. I liked both of those movies quite a bit. So, I was in. I thought the trailer looked good. Oh my, this movie scared the crap out of me. I've been watching horror films forever. I'm pretty damn jaded. I don't scare easily. This movie scared the shit out of me. Now it's a slow burn. This movie's almost 2 hours long. So the pace, I don't want to say slow, but it's very methodical, which works very much to the movie's benefit. They managed to keep the tension ratcheted pretty well for most of it. You do have the occasional moment where there's like a little comic blow-off, just to give the audience a respite, which, okay. You know, if done well in context, I don't mind those. Ethan Hawke in this movie, oh my god. He's really good. It gives a very... His character's hard to describe because he's compelling. He's interesting. I'd say he's even likable. But he's completely unsympathetic. I mean, he talks a good game about how he's trying to put together this one last true crime. He's a true crime author who he hit it big 10 years ago, and since then, it's all been downhill. He thinks he's got his one big hit in there. And I mean, he talks a good game about how he wants to do this to provide for his wife and get financial security. And it's bullshit. He wants it for himself. He wants it for himself. And honestly, he seems like the sort of character where he's been saying this for so long that he probably believes it. And there are a few things more dangerous than someone that believes their own bullshit. But yes, he is not a sympathetic character. Him, his wife, and his 2 kids. The wife, I think the actress plays her fine, but her role isn't fleshed out that much, and she just comes off as incredibly shrill most of the time. That said, Hawke's character is such a selfish bastard that I can't really blame her for being like that. It can get a little aggravating now and then, but at the same time, he's almost a little sociopathic. That's how single-minded he is. Just a hair. Like, he doesn't want to hurt anyone, but if he does, well, that's the price of business. It's because he gets, apparently they've been run out of more than a few places because he pisses everyone off. This is not a surprise to me at all. In fact, he's greeted by the sheriff, who's played by Fred Thompson. Yeah, he used to be on Law & Order. He ran for president. He was running for the GOP nomination for like a month and a half before everyone realized he's got all the charisma and energy of a brick. And he gives less than a welcome, because Hawk's character's made lawmen look bad in the past and brought down a lot of crap. The guy's trouble. He really is. Thompson Sheriff, he's not a bad guy. He just makes it clear that he wants no part of him. However, his deputy is a big fan of Hawk's. And I'm just using the actors' names because I'm crap at remembering character names. I'm totally blank on this. He's a little starstruck at first, wants to help him, and Hawk's just taking total advantage of him as best he can. And this deputy actually proves himself to be pretty useful in the course of this movie. He's a student. He studied criminology. He's a smart guy. He wants to find the killers of this family. You know, he wants to see justice done. He wants to get whoever this is off the street. Again, part of my non-linear storytelling. I'm a disaster. The house they moved into was a family of 5. The youngest girl disappeared. The rest of the family was found hanging from a tree in the backyard. Yeah. So he wants to investigate that. He's such an asshole. He hasn't told his wife or kids. Well, no, he doesn't let the kids in on the crime at all. He lets his wife in on it, but he never tells her that they moved into the house where it happened. Yeah, he's not a sympathetic. Like I said, he's just not very sympathetic at all. He's very much out for himself. And it actually, he gets an arc with this. As the movie goes on, he kind of starts to finally get his head out of his ass. Although watching his descent, he doesn't start off at a high point to begin with. And as he investigates the crimes, he's hearing stuff, he's seeing things, he's getting really squirrely, he's drinking like a fish. He's really believably just descending to the point of, yeah, I know something's going on here, but could it just be that he has cracked? Sorry. Yeah, and it's a little hard to tell at times. Is this guy just completely losing it? Or is there something else at work here? It's not helped by the fact that the son, Trevor, about 12, and he suffers from night terrors, which have gotten out of control since they moved into this house. I'm probably going to have night terrors myself tonight. You know, I pretty much, I set my alarm for about 4 a.m., even though I don't have to get up for like another few hours after that. Because I'm figuring that's about the time I'm just going to wake up screaming El Diablo, or something like that. Just fully expecting to wake up in a cold sweat after losing my shit completely. Yeah, his night terrors are getting worse. The daughter likes to paint. She paints a picture of the missing girl on one wall, because they allow her to paint her own bedroom. And she ends up painting a picture of the missing girl from this house on another one. It's very... it's one of those where you know what's going on, but you're not totally sure when it's going to happen. It's very deliberate. It's very reminiscent of Insidious. It's a very dark movie, not just in tone, but I mean the lighting is actually very dark itself, which makes a lot of sense in a movie like this. You wouldn't want to have a dark movie with too well lit. It just doesn't work. But the lighting combined with the music, oh, I mean they nailed the atmosphere for this movie. Just pitch perfect. But yeah, everything going on, he finds a box of home movies. And this is where you can tell guys from Paranormal Activity were involved, because he's watching the old Super 8 footage. It's literally found footage. But they integrate it into a non-found footage movie. It works very well. The stuff that happens on the Super 8, by the way, looks great. I mean, it looks like it was actually done on Super 8. I mean, I'm sure it was shot, digitally or 35mm, and they just messed with it to make it look grainier and not as good. Fine with me. Again, one of those little touches that shows they were paying attention. Really, the only problem this film had was that the whole thing focuses on an ancient pagan deity named Bagu. That's just a goofy name. It really is. I mean, whenever you see him, it's like you never get a clear image of him. Like at one point, like one of the best shots you get of him is like, he's actually walking away, but he's very pale, but he's got black marks on his face, and just very long hair. Seriously, he looks like he walked out of a black metal band. Black metal's actually mentioned in this. This Hawk's character's having a couple of web chats with a professor on occult crime played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who, he's Vincent D'Onofrio, he's good, but it's a small part, and he basically did the whole thing over Skype. Fine, whatever. But he just, he's just there to give out a little bit of exposition as to what Bagu is. I have no idea if Bagu is a real ancient pagan deity or not. But it's all very well executed. Look at the crimes, various symbols relating to him show up. But, they're not sure, like, is it a cult devoted to him committing these crimes, or what? It's a very strange movie. And I'm not going to give it away, but the ending. The ending was one of those, like, oh my god, they went there. Wow. Like, it was one of those, like, ooh. That was ballsy. They went. That's all I'm going to say is they went there. This movie did not hold back. Now, for the most part, it's strange. It's not overall a gory, violent flick. But when there is gore and violence, oh god. You know, there's no restraint. They don't mess around. They don't do it all the time because it would lose its effect, but yeah, when it does come into play, oh my god, it's really vicious. And a lot of it, they don't show the violence even happening. A lot of times they just show the aftermath, which is nice because it lets you imagine it. So you're going to come up with what freaks you out the most, not the director. So he just kind of leads you to water, but you still drink. It's very expertly done, especially with the final set of murders, which honestly, it should have been, because the way the final set of murders that are discovered were done is silly. It really is. But they pull it off in such a way that you don't laugh at something that actually should be kind of funny. It feels dead serious. Pardon the pun. But overall, pretty much every little beat that could be hit, they knew how to hit it. The only real problem is that the movie ends, and this is a microscopic nitpick. The ending of the movie is the most unnecessary jump scare in film history. When I was like, oh, could you just trim those few frames? And the movie would have just... It would have been perfect. That last 2 seconds was just... Really? That was just goofy. But, like I said, this definitely feels like an older style horror flick. A great atmosphere. It was a good cast. A great score. Just eerie and creepy as fuck. So yeah, I'm recommending this one very highly. Where it'll rank on my best of 2012? I still can't say. There's still plenty to see. I'm hoping to catch either Argo and or Seven Psychopaths at some point this week. Who knows? We shall see. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now. This is Kyle Huckins for Huckins on Film. Fucking off.